Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dragon's Tome. We are your three hosts. We're going to guide you. Take our hands. We're going to guide you through episode, of Dragon Magazine. We're going to go through each and every Dragon Magazine in chronological order, as you know. And this one we've come to rest on issue 48. Issue 48. These are my co-hosts here, Rob and Chopper, and we're going to
hello.
We're going to say what do we think about this cover? Issue 48, $3.
It's called Close But No Cigar by Phil Folio, the classic. And yes, it's one of his cartoons. He likes caricatures.
He does.
I do like how the Devil Internal Revenue Service guy has a little picture of Satan on his desk.
Yeah. I don't know why the Green Lantern has moose horns, though.
Oh, that does kind of look like the Green Lantern symbol on the hat.
It's moose and squirrel. That is a weird hat. Wonder what that signifies.
It looked very Moose Lodge.
Are they friends, these two guys, and they're walking out of the dungeon with treasure? I'm not exactly sure what's going on
They're
here.
coming out of the dungeon with treasure, and they're about to get mugged.
Or are they
IRS.
dead walking into hell?
No. They're coming out of the dungeon.
The guy's name is what? Styx? Mr. Styx?
Yeah, he's the IRS.
River Styx.
But I think maybe it's got a metaphor, but the baseline of it is they're going to get raped by the IRS after they won all this money. So,
what does it say in the back of the chair?
I think it's his. Is it his? I think it's his signature. Isn't it?
It's his signature because this is 81. It's
81.
something.
I can see. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, my read is that they've just completed their adventure. They're on their way out. They're like, oh my God, we're rich. We're rich. Much like us when we get our paycheck. Oh, look at all this money. And then you see how much the Tax Canada has gotten their greedy mitts in there.
Pat, do the Tax Canada tax you that much?
No, Canada does not tax us that much.
Well, win some, you lose some. You guys must not get taxed.
You get taxed.
Oh, okay. Well, so I think as covers go, enjoyable. I'm happy with I'm happy with the variety we've had thus far, and a folio. I'll never turn my nose up at a folio. That's for sure.
I'm still perplexed by this hat.
It is a bold fashion choice. I don't know how navigating what looks like a subterranean lair, how that would benefit at all. But
did you purposely not use the word dungeon?
Oh, I could have used dungeon.
Anyway,
but you know me, I'm eloquent. I like to use my words. I'm a veritable thesaurus of words. Anyways, Rob, let's go down to your stock standard. Let's see what the Dragon's rumbling's going on today.
Well, it's rumbling in my tumbling. So the upcoming, he said there's going to be famous people upcoming covers. He announced two of those people. One is Boris Vallejo, which we predicted, and the other one is Tim Hildebrandt, who did a lot of famous paintings back in the day. I remember from Heavy Metal magazine. He was always doing covers for Heavy Metal.
Oh, yeah.
Also, TSR put up a 60-foot castle at the Hobby Industry of America trade show and won Best Booth. A 60-foot castle. That's the kind of money we're flowing around here. The money's just pouring into TSR at this point. Also, remember that woman that the editor harassed when he welcomed her? Well, she quit and's been replaced. I wonder why.
Which one?
Remember a few episodes ago where they let her...
Yeah, which one?
There's new employees because we regret to say goodbye this month to member of the Dragon publishing staff, Don Peckle. That's the one he sexually harassed. And replaced by Jean Lons. Well, Jean, prepare to be sexually harassed because it seems that Jake likes to hit on the ladies. And he also announced Best of Dragon 2 and new calendar coming. Nothing too exciting, but I like to point out that he sexually harassed somebody, in the welcoming, and 2 months later she's gone. So, I'm just saying. She must have said no.
Yet the other one is still there, so she's either complicit or maybe.
I don't know what they look like. She might be like
I gave
80,
generous.
She might be like 80 years old, and he's not hitting on her. But
I gave a generous read that it was some co-worker tomfoolery and hijinks. Perhaps you're right, Rob. Maybe something nefarious going on.
Maybe
it's true. Maybe, who knows?
Well, then let's escape the
torment,
the mire that is sexual harassment, and go to Pat. What's your article?
My first article is going to be on page 9.
9.
Ooh. 9, nice and close.
Watery words to the wise. This is the article. Anyone did this one?
Nope.
No.
Is an article on underwater adventuring until you read it. And then the article becomes not how to adventure underwater, but more on the sociological look of merfolk.
No.
And that they don't, because they're underwater, they wouldn't be as advanced as the land dwellers, and would be maybe
That's
as
racist.
technically advanced as Neolithic answers of the land dwellers.
Racist.
Because they can't shape metal underwater.
You couldn't forge steel, so you would kind of hold out at like a Paleolithic time of
or they find some other way to do things.
Yeah, but we're also talking about merfolk, for God's sakes. In a world of magic and fey folk, why couldn't they use magic to shape metal? Or some kind of other way to forge using...
geothermal.
Yeah, water.
Why do you need metal?
Well, because metal's underground, too. I mean,
yeah, but you don't need it. You don't need metal for advanced society.
No, not at all. But that's my point. My point is that his sociological take of merfolk is that because they don't have metal, they can't be advanced.
Yeah, I think old
he even talks about how they can't move around as much with the lack of horses. And I'm thinking, you got seahorses, you got way more
whales.
Exactly.
They got sharks. It can be shark riders.
There's many things, and so his take on this thing is very skewed. And obviously, we're in the 80s here now, so obviously he's never watched the Justice League cartoon on Saturday morning.
Aquaman would have taught him a thing or two.
I mean, there's a picture of what in the beginning of that cartoon, Aquaman's sitting on a freaking seahorse.
Well, you can deride Jeff Swikaffer all you want, but he took a quote from the best Beatles song ever as the opening to this article, so you can't fault him for anything.
I fault him a ton. And he talks about...
I take umbrage to the best Beatles song.
I do too, but he also talks a little bit too as that their minds also would think a little bit different because they have to exist in what's called a 3D environment where us land people are not as 3D.
Yeah, they'd be probably more advanced. They'd have 3D chess.
So
when they made their version of Star Trek, all the ships wouldn't meet on the same plane.
Yeah,
no, they'd be playing 4D chess in the because that'd be a futuristic thing.
What I thought was going to be a nice article on how to adventure underwater.
You were sickened by the end?
It just turned into someone's anthropology paper.
In a world of fantasy where you could have went one way of them being like highly advanced, or to make them water cavemen was a bold move. Must
Especially
work in his game.
You have Atlantis as like a template.
Yeah.
He
even so speaking of that, he also talks about how merfolk and even the bad, like the Sagahins, the evil guys, the enemies of the merfolk, they can come on land and for a couple hours before they have to go back into the water. And he makes it as I forget where he's going with it, but he was talking about because they can do that, why are there always coastal towns then? If they can just be that so advanced.
Ask why England has coastal towns after the Norsemen invaded them constantly.
Yeah, so it's just...
It makes no sense.
His whole line of thinking is just all over the place when it comes to this. And so, very disappointed in this article, but I mentioned it because I read it and then I was like, oh my God. And then it was like a train wreck. I couldn't stop reading.
I'm going to go back to what Rob said and say that since Atlantis already existed, he probably wanted to do the opposite and had to justify, because yes, Atlantis is in the zeitgeist of every, like that would have been the easy way to go, and maybe this was a justification for going the opposite way. But yeah, no,
he didn't even steal from H.P. Lovecraft and do like deep ones.
Yeah, it's true. So, well, that was my first article. I read an anthropology paper today. Felt good about myself.
Very good. And to quote the second best Beatles song, Cuckoo Cuckoo, Rob, what do you got? Oh, no, it'd be my turn. Yeah. It'd be my turn. Okay.
What you got?
Well, let me show you what I got. We're going to go to page 54 of the PDF. My handwriting this week is awful, so I don't know what I was doing. Too many coffees, I think. So we're going to just trust that it's... oh, yes, let me do that for you.
Hey, this is our friend.
Our friend, the pig strapped to a mule.
No, but it's Robert Plant.
Oh, yes.
But so this might have been already in the... but this might have already been in the hopper, so we're not... We got to check next month. Yes,
this could have been, already scheduled a couple, weeks in advance, and while he's, pounding the pavement looking for a new job because he can't work with Kim, we're going to be able to read a very reasonable article on why you would have a mule to carry your stuff, especially with encumbrance being used in some parties. Encumbrance is a thing. Then he also goes into what he would have on his mule rather than on his person, just in case, you can imagine what could happen. And then also how you would train a mule to follow you into the dungeon rather than just stay outside the dungeon for what I would imagine every predator sees as the perfect snack tied up on the outskirts of every place adventurers go. There would just be this meal hanging out.
It worked out for Bill from Lord of the Rings, right? It didn't work out for Bill, did it?
No, didn't a tentacle tear him apart?
I believe it did, yes.
Oh, see, that's a different one.
Poor Bill. Anyways.
But I've heard the argument that that had to happen, or else they would have just flown Bill all the way right to Mount Doom.
Dropped him right in the fire. Dropped him right in the fire.
So he had to. It's a loophole. It is in the story. That's where the story falls down.
Yeah.
J.R.R.
You lost me right there.
Yeah.
It's not speak friended and open. It's for Bill.
I almost made a J.R.R. Rawlings joke as if I didn't even know who the author was, but I don't know where everyone falls on her as a person anymore, so I didn't want to even...
Not good. I don't think it's good. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, I don't think so. So yes, how and the whys and what for you would use a mule to up your encumbrance while still making it reasonable.
Right.
So that is my article. Rob. What do you got?
I'm going to go to page 13. No, 15. It's another April Fool's issue. It's 48 and a half. But unlike old April Fool's issues, though, I found this one not very funny.
You didn't?
I didn't.
No.
The Dragon Rumbles.
I read all through it, though.
Dragon Mumbles, it's kind of funny because it increasingly gets harder and harder to read as you go, which is kind of funny.
Because he ran out of time, apparently, canonically, he says he didn't have enough time to do both the Rumbles and Mumbles, so
he starts writing backwards is what it is.
But Letters to the Editor weren't very funny, I didn't find. Anybody want to jump in any of these, please let me know.
No, and in fact,
actually one of them is mine.
I didn't
It's
want
one of
to
my
address any
Which one?
number. Oh,
So
Which
we'll
one?
just go straight to my article then?
Oh no, like
Yes.
unless it, well, just yell when you get into it. I didn't read. The accountant is the accountant one.
No, it's on page 20.
The only good part of the accountant is at the very end. It says turn to page 98. There is no page 98. It's only 96 pages in this book, which I thought was funny. The real life game, is that the one?
Oh, page 20.
no,
Real
he's
life
talking
game,
about the cartoon
I'm-
characters.
I know, but I'm just saying real life game predates The Sims. I think that they're like, oh, it's so funny, it's going to be a real life game, but people play this game. It's
Yeah.
true. And yes, the Saturday morning cartoons. Yep. Bugs, Daffy, Popeye, and others for D&D.
I enjoyed
Pat,
this one.
Take it away.
Well, I just thought it was funny. They made Bugs Bunny an illusionist because he gets all those little tricks. They just put Daffy Duck is totally nuts and make him chaotic and neutral.
How about that?
Huh?
Daffy's not nuts. He's poor.
He's
Hard to
totally
find.
nuts. I do like Popeye. He's a 9th level fighter or he's an 18th level fighter, depending on what day if it's lunchtime.
He's got some spinach in him.
Yeah. And then the part that really made me laugh really hard was your countryman, Dudley Do-Right, is a 18th level paladin.
Makes sense. But they say he's dim-witted. I don't. Dudley Do-Right's not dim-witted. Dim-witted?
No.
No, I would say comically naive at times, but not. No.
How dare you?
Out of
Got a
all these
charisma
ones,
of
the only
21.
ones I didn't like were Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Screw those guys.
Yeah, they were never my favorite, but I would have enjoyed a better set of cartoons on Saturday morning. Like who else was good at that time?
Rocky should be.
Scooby-Doo's? Anyone in the Scooby-Doo gang?
Rocky should be a magic user because he pulls rabbits out of his hat.
It's true.
Why is he a fighter? That wasn't well thought out.
Alkabong would have been good. Droopy would have been fun.
Yeah, you've got all those wacky
maybe in the
racers.
future. We got. You don't want to blow their load right now.
That's true. You don't have to use that term while we're
Maybe
talking
next-
about cartoons.
Maybe next year we'll get some of the other ones.
Okay. Yeah.
But that is all my articles.
Jack,
If we are still going to, because the last thing of the prank episode is all of the comics in the magazine. They all meet. So it's Phineas meets Jasmine meets the Pinsum, and it's an funny, unexpected. Not funny. Funny is a bold word. It was.
don't get me wrong. It wasn't funny at all.
It wasn't funny. It was as bland as you would expect it to be, but it was charming in a unexpected way.
No, charming.
It was charming. Okay, well then let's pretend that 0.5 episode never happened. And if that was Rob's, or no, if that was Pat's,
It's you if you have an article. Do you have an article?
I was just gonna say I have one in page 61, Sage Advice. If we want to indulge me in my last.
I don't read Sage Advice now that Jen left. I refuse to read it. Or Jean.
Okay, well, my note here says, lame questions, lame answers. It's turned into a garbage in, garbage out. There is no whimsy in the questions they choose. There is no, and my take is, and I think Rob hit the nail right on the head. I don't think Sage Advice will be something I even read anymore. It used to be something that I was like, I want to see.
Mm-hmm. I want to see some stupid questions and have her rip it apart or make fun of it.
Or wild, out of left field, we're getting like can of barred backstab. Yes, it has the stats of a thief at this level. Oh, okay, that's
Thanks for that.
It's as unentertaining as possible, I think now. So I think Sage Advice for me is as dead as the dodo.
I wonder how much longer it lasts.
Yeah, I don't know. Not at this pace. No, I think the magic's gone.
Yeah.
So does anyone else have an article before we move on to the...
I do. I have an article on page 77, I believe. Gen Con South. Old format plus new ideas.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
This is Gen Con in Jacksonville, Florida. The attendance was only 400 people, which is pretty sad, and 200 of them were in the AD&D tournament, which I thought was funny. But they said overall good, but some players ruined some tourneys because they made it a team sport kind of, so each club was a team, so some people started playing the system, so they gang up and when they shouldn't have and stuff like that, so they kind of ruined it. They said it had a small dealer hall, and the public address system was overused as people were trying to play games. Pat, we know how that works, the stupid public address system in Gen Con. He's loud and annoying, and he just says stupid things, and we're like, yeah, we know. It's 10 minutes till we open, or 10 minutes before we close. Thanks. Anyways, that was my last article.
Okay, Pat, anything else?
My articles were done.
Okay.
We're going to move on to ads. I'm ready to go on to ads.
I want your ad. I want your ad so bad. Pour your ad all over us.
Do we have the same ad? That's my question.
Probably. 85.
Yeah. This is a big thing right here.
And here we see the beginning of a corporation that we all love, FASA.
FASA eventually makes Shadowrun and BattleTech.
And Earth Dawn.
And Earth Dawn, yes. And
those are the three things that made him...
Well, Renegade Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is here they're just making blueprints for Traveler.
Yeah, these are actually 15 mil scale minis.
No, they're not minis. They're blueprints. To be used with minis. So they're maps.
Bridges,
drawn in 15 mil scales, yeah.
Yeah. They're maps. They're maps to be used with 15 millimeter minis, which is odd scale, but yeah, so it's blueprints for ships, which is kind of weird, but it is them. It's the Junior Terrace, Chicago, Illinois.
Yep.
It's old FASA.
So it looks like we all thought we found a little nugget that would surprise and delight, and we all
found said nugget.
And we've all mined it pretty thoroughly.
Well, I do like seeing the beginning of things like probably in 4 years, less, maybe 3 years, FASA explodes and gets big. So it's fun to see that. Pretty soon, I want to pretty soon is Call of Cthulhu, so I'm excited to find that eventually. So can't look forward to that one.
Yeah. No. Okay.
And don't forget, Richard College is an equal opportunity institution.
Who's Richard College?
I don't know. It just says that on the page. I just read what I sees.
That's
Dalcon.
That's an ad.
It says Dalcon, so I'm going to assume that's in Dallas.
I would assume it's in Dallas. Yep, Dallas, Texas. Yep, Richland College in Dallas, Texas. I have no more ads. Anybody got any ads?
No, that was it. I thought I'd stumbled upon.
You thought you rooked us?
Because it is deep. We're in like the third follow up on the mailbag. We're looking at we're now 10 pages into the underwater world of nonsense. I thought for sure, but anyways, okay. Well then, I guess this will be a reasonable sized episode. We can wrap it up.
All right.
Wrap it up. We'll take it.
As the host, I will do my due diligence and say, touch down there. Everything that's down there, you just gotta put your fingers on. If you want to leave us a comment, do so down below. We'd love to see it. Thank you for joining us, and catch us next week when we go on to episode
49.
49. It's a big one. It's a big one. So I've been Jack.
I'm a Chopper.
Hi, Rob.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Alligator.